Wow. Very interesting ending. I wasn't expecting that. But then again, maybe I was expecting a little bit more. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way. We are back here with the finale of The Trust episode 8. We are finally wrapping this one up. We are getting started with the Trust interviews with some of the players. So those are coming out as we speak. And yeah, it's been a wild ride with this show. Definitely brand new show, brand new show. So the first season's always going to kind of be, some things on the, last minute scale of the game. And I mean that as in like there might be some things planned that they don't eventually doing. There were going to be some rough spots. There are going to be some good spots. There's going to be a learning curve for a lot of things, especially when it's a new show that doesn't involve any people that's been on reality TV before. But we made it through, and I'm anticlimactic. That's just the word I'm gonna put. I enjoyed the show overall. It was an enjoyable show. I think there may be some things that need to be implemented if they're going to do a season two. Maybe add some like real games to where someone has all the power, I think, or people actually have everything exposed and not just things hidden. Because I've never seen a show where things are just hidden and you never find out who did what until after the show is over with. The contestants, per se. So that was shocking to me. I'm like, dang, they're not gonna tell them what's up. I mean, I know it was a secret, but dang, like that's what we doing here. That's what settings we on. So it was an interesting ending to say the least. But I mean, like I said, it's a new show. They're trying to get a new audience out for some things. It's definitely it left me wanting a little bit more closure on some things and just like some things solidified. But look, y'all, I don't know. I don't know. But let's go through this finale and we'll see what kind of things what I thought about some of the certain things that went down because I don't know. It just didn't feel like a finale episode to me. It just didn't feel like it too much. But we'll start with it. Um, be sure also before y'all done, subscribe to the Patreon. We got some new things coming out on there. We got some exclusive talks with some people from Squid Game, some people from some other shows. Got some exclusive events and footage from that coming up. That's only going to be posted on there. Also posting more of my personal stuff, some workouts, photos, etc. Check it out. It's only $5 a month. But we'll get into it. The finale episode. So they show a little recap of everything with Joelle, Simone, Bryce, Jay, Winnie, and Lindsay all leaving, and Julie, Jake, Tolu, Gasper, and Brian are the only ones left. They are the final five. We leave off with Gasper lying about not voting Lindsay out. That's another thing where it's like he never has to expose this, but other people had to expose their secrets, which he got lucky because he did this after they did the whole little reveal note thing where they had to show who they voted for. I just wish they had to show everything, but uh, it just leaves things up to like, damn, like I don't know. It just leaves things too much up in the air for me. But yes, Gasper thinks telling people will harm him more than it will help him. I agree. You can't tell people that you voted her out, or else that's your ass. You've been lying about this too, so you're another suspect and could be voted out the trust at this point. So it's smart not to tell these secrets. Tolu is ecstatic. Lindsay is gone, but she still can't trust the group. Tolu can't trust nobody. I mean, not shocking. Julie says she's sick of lying and she came to the game with being okay with lying and she kind of changed her mindset. Julie says Brian give her hope in trusting and loving people more. And she confesses to Brian that she took the offer on her little trip when they went together and Brian declined the offer. So Julie's kind of made a 180 in this. She came into the game thinking selfishly, I need this money. I don't care about these people. I'm going to do what's good for me, forming an alliance with the women and eventually siding with the men. Completely 180 out of everybody in the game. She did what she had to do. She pivoted when she had to. I like that she kind of grew into trusting people, and it seems like this was a good experience for her overall. And she definitely had her mindset changed on everything. So I do enjoy that aspect of the game when it comes to Julie. She definitely had the biggest character arc change out of everybody on the show. She came in not trusting, she's trusting. She came in with her guard up, now her guard's down, even with her in like a little showmance with Jake. So we've got to see her grow. We've got to see all sides of her, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the vulnerable. And I like that we got to see all these things because it really showed growth and you could see her develop as the season went on. A little erratic to start out, but definitely settled down and didn't vote in the last three ceremonies. Like, and when she said she wasn't gonna vote no more, she wasn't gonna vote, and I think Jake had a lot to do with that. So it was good to see her kind of like switch it a little bit, switch it a lot, and kind of alter her game plan of what she was going in initially, and then completely changed it based on what situation she was given. And that takes a lot for somebody to actually do that. So people are stubborn; they're gonna go in there with a certain mindset and not change it most of the time. But she flowed with she flowed with the river like Pocahontas and went up and down the river bend, and she made it to the end with it, and she already has 15K banked, so she's played a great game overall. I think, maybe, had to do some things that she wasn't too proud of, but that's just part of the game. It's a brand new thing, and she played one of the best games so far. I mean, in this game, you got to have a fine balance, I think, of selfishness and kindness because I mean, look, Brian did what he had to do with the games and turning down every single dollar amount that was offered to him, but he honestly should have took something. I don't hate Tolu for taking the money, taking a certain amount of money. People are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she took it." I mean, she had to do something. I don't blame her because she thought she was going to get voted out, and I think Brian should have been a little selfish too. Not, he's a man of his word. So I respect Brian for everything that he did. I respect him as a man for sticking to his word. And if he said he was going to do something and he stuck to it, I'm 100% down with that. He's the type of dude in the show I was rooting for a lot as the show progressed. And I wanted him to like capitalize on everything. But hey, he's a man of he's a former vet. He's an honorable guy. He's a real blue collar dude. And much respect to him from the beginning and much respect to him at the end. He didn't screw nobody over. He played the game how he wanted to play it and didn't suffice from the pressures and crumble when the lights turned big and bright. So kudos to him, but I just wish he was going to be able to. I wish the people who did right and didn't vote essentially got a little bit more of the pot per se. But that's just the game. That's just the game settings we working with, y'all. Uh, Julie, yeah, she told Brian that she took the offer, and Brian was not happy about this. I mean, he feels used, gullible, misled, and Brian's a dude like, look, I think he can put himself in other people's shoes, but he be getting pissed when people be voting. He gets pissed when people go home. He gets pissed when people lie about certain things, and I mean, Brian, have you never told a lie in your life? I'm just kidding. This man is like he needs to run for president. I'm voting Brian for president because he's gonna tell us all the truth and nothing but the truth because he'll feel too bad about lying to the people. Um, but man, it's just wild that I've never really met anyone that honest and vulnerable, let alone on TV, where you have the power of being behind, the confessional camera and really saying what you feel, but not doing that in front of the people. With everything he's saying back there is things he's doing in front of the people. Except maybe being a little even when he's being distrustful of certain people, he tells people that's how he's feeling. So this is the most transparent, authentic, you know, black and white dude on the show. So I get why he's highly upset. And he's like, Julie, like, what are you doing right now? I mean, this is the second time. And I don't blame him for feeling how he's feeling. I don't blame him for I don't blame him for getting that upset because he's like, I would never have done that. So how could you have done it? Kind of hard for him to put himself in Julie's shoes in that point. The offer is tempting, like he said, so he should know that it's wasn't easy, and I think he's understanding of her with that, and that's why he was able to move past it. But you know, I think that it's just tough for a guy like that who sacrificed so much, especially in this game so far, and then have other people just not willing to sacrifice anything, and that's the real frustrating part behind it. His beard is masking his real emotions at some points. So I'm with you, Brian, but I just think, I understand why what Julie had to do what she had to do. And same with Tolu at the end. Like, I don't hate them for taking the money that they had to take. You don't want to leave with nothing. That's the last thing you want to do is leave with nothing. And the moment you leave with nothing at the very end and somebody were to vote you out, you would look like a fool and a clown. And your family back at home, which is most important, they're gonna look at you like, "What are you doing? You had this money literally right in front of you, and you declined it. And at the end, you didn't even get any of it." So, just an insurance policy. Insurance policies are all kind of scams in general, and these insurance policies weren't scams. So it's rarely you get an insurance policy that's not a scam. So I don't blame Julie for doing what she did. I don't blame Totally for doing what she did. Um, it's a hard game where you're trusting strangers. So I'll just leave it at that. And I understand why Brian felt the way he did, and I'm really impressed how he was able to give them grace and still stick to his word after all the BS, all the lying, the manipulating, the gaslighting, like everything, you know. So it's just high praise to that guy. But anyways, Brian said he is rock solid going into the final vote, but now he is a little nervous. I still couldn't see him voting anyone out, no matter how nervous he is. He said himself, as long as no one does me dirty, I'm not going to do no one else dirty. Um, Julie soon tells the entire group that she took the offer. So she told everyone now, and she tells them the $1,500 offer. It was a $1,500 offer, $15,000 offer to vote Bryce out. Tolu says she knew, but she feels upset that Julie has consistently lied to her throughout her time here. Um, you can't be upset with Julie at this point. I mean, she's opening up to y'all. I mean, you could feel how you want to feel, and it's like, oh, you just now telling us. There's plenty of things that other people have been keeping secret as well. So I don't want people to be like hypocrites up in here and saying, oh, you didn't tell us this, you didn't tell us that. You guys, she told you guys this. She didn't have to do that. So I think her doing this is showing y'all like this is what's up. Bryce went out weeks ago. So it's just like we got to move on, move past it. I think that if you hold a grudge for her because of this, and this is like the heavy factor in it, I don't think that's I don't think that's cool because everyone's exposing everything on the cards. The only person that hasn't exposed everything is Gasper at this point because he just voted Lindsay out. But and I noticed in this episode too, we're missing a lot of the conversations and a lot of things going on because at the end, I'm not gonna try and jump too far ahead, but Julie and Tolu seem to have very a high tension against each other, but it comes out of kind of nowhere. And I don't want to say like they weren't on the same page for the most part, but it seems like oh, everyone has a really good vibe towards each other. The final five, they're all getting along great. No one's has an issue with anybody anymore. Everyone's made up, but then there's all this tension and just low key animosity towards, especially Tolu and Julie, that they don't trust each other. I'm like, well, where did this come from? Did something happen that we didn't see off camera? Like, I was just a little confused on that. I mean, it's a condensed episode. I get it, but I feel like we're missing something. But nothing eventually happens. But yes, Jake soon says he thinks it's shady and he's disappointed. It's everyone's money she's taking from. He says Julie is better than that. It's kind of like, look, girl, I'm mad at you. You did something wrong, but it'll be all right. It'll be okay, and we'll move past this. But I think he's just voicing his frustration because she didn't tell him this apparently too. So I don't think he's shocked because Jake, every time Julie has told him that she did something like this, he's kind of gotten over it real quick, and I feel like this is just gonna be another thing. Like, okay, like that sucks. Like I can't believe you did that again, but it'll be all right, baby. Let's get out of here. So I don't think he's really that upset. I just think little projection there. Everyone is soon recollecting on how they got here. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is like this journey I had, and this is that journey I had." This episode honestly didn't really do a whole lot. It wasn't. It was probably the most least impact episode out of all of them. It was just kind of like settling the dust. The dust was settling, and everyone's kind of just doing their last little vote, and that's it. Um, Brian says he likes Tolu, but still doesn't fully trust her when there's this big temptation of money. Mm, you don't say. Gasper is ready to be done because he's mentally exhausted. Gasper's like, get me out of here, coach. I'm done with this cruise. I'm done with this vacation. I need to get back home and teach these kids and tell my jokes and tell my stories because y'all tired of hearing them and I need to talk to somebody who wants to hear them, coach. He's over this experience. He just wants to get his bank and cash out. I don't blame you. I mean, look, it's a fun time, but after a while, you know, when you're ready to go on vacation for a few weeks and it's just like you're ready to go home and sleep in your own bed. I think that's how he's feeling right now. And he's just exhausted. He's exhausted. It's the last few days of vacation. Y'all know how that is sometimes if you go on a long one and you're just tired. Like you don't want to do nothing. You're just tired. So I get it. Brooke soon comes out and says there's one more test. Everyone will soon enter the vault one last time, one by one. There's $268,000 in the trust at this point, and that comes out to over $53,000 per person. Not a bad cut. 50 grand I mean, but after the thing is after taxes, oof, that's only about like 30, 25. Oh, I say only. That's still a nice amount. It's still a nice amount, but dang. Brian hopes everyone makes the right decision for the team. Jake says he'll turn down any offer, but he's uneasy about Tolu. So Jake's like, look, if they offer me the whole 250, I'm turning it down, coach. And yeah, he's has every right to be uneasy about Tolu because just a few days ago she was just on edge at everyone, you know, going ham, calling shots at everybody, and she put herself in that position easily, and I don't blame anybody for any second thoughts and second opinions about her in regarding her decision, and Julie too. You got to look at Julie, your girl, but he's letting Julie off the hook here. He's letting her a little off the hook. Um, he needs to look at her too because she was presented with the offer before and she took it and she told you guys this. So what makes you think she won't do it again? I think anybody, she's the one to do it the most. But then again, Tolu has never been in the vault before, so we don't know how she's going to act in the situation. She hasn't been tempted like Brian, like Gasper, like Jake. And so it's the moment of truth. Tolu says she hopes the offer isn't too good to pass up because she is up in the air about the decision because she knows that, you know, these people, they wanted her out a few days ago and she knows what time it is. And yeah, they have this kumbaya stuff going on, but you know, she ain't down with the kumbaya. She's down with the solo baya, as in solo, and hope that I get all the cash offer to get 100,000 and take from the trust and I'm out of here. And then right off in my Star Wars battleship. So yeah, Tolu ain't with the shits right now. She's definitely still has the same mindset as she had at the beginning. Is I'm gonna take what I need to take and move on. I feel like if she was in the vault as many times as Brian, she would have took it every single time. That's just me. That's just me. So they each go into the vault this time, and now the offer is name an amount up to $25,000 that you'd like to take from the trust. If you bid the highest number, it's yours to keep. So very simple, self-explanatory. They show them the offer this time. They don't make it look like, oh, well, you have to take it. They switching the rules up here and there. It's always something different. Just keep it consistent. I get it. You trying to do twists and whatnot, but show them the offer every time or don't show them every time. That's just me. So yes, if everyone takes it, they'll eventually have $125,000 taken from the trust. I'm like, dang, that's a lot taken. That's like damn near half of the money if they all decide to take 25 grand. But the thing is, if they all decided to take the money, they would all get the same amount at the end. So I feel like there should have been like a stipulation, like if you take the money, you have to vote somebody out. That's what should have been in there. And then we really would have kind of like had some more thought process and behind this, but it was just take the money or share it. That's it. And I thought it was a little weak. All the other offers seem to have more risk involved with them, shockingly, because this is the last one. I know it's 25 grand, but you have an opportunity to get money and vote somebody out and then get more money, or you're not going to take any money and leave everyone in there and take less. Like that's really what the stake should have been. But I don't know. The showrunners are like, look, y'all, these people have been through hell doing this. Let's just keep it easy this time. So, I mean, I don't, like I said, anybody who doesn't take it, anybody who takes it, I don't blame them in this situation. It's 25 racks by saying yes or no. How often do you get that opportunity to say yes to that? I mean, look, 25 racks in a whole grand scheme of things isn't life changing, but it can help a lot with taking care of bills, taking care of kids, taking care of short term, intermediate things that you want to get done and accomplished. And it's definitely impactful. So anybody who took, I thought everybody's going to take it. Uh, That's just, I thought everyone was going to, but like I said, there's a lot of things off camera that we don't see about how these people really form these bonds and how these people really talk to each other about the ins and outs of declining this money that we don't get to see. That's why I'm, excited to talk to everyone who had an offer on the table and how these bonds really came to fruition. Tolu feels like Julie would definitely take the offer. She's like, oh, Julie was broke as hell and she lived in Montana. She definitely taking this offer. So why the hell wouldn't I? It so she doesn't really know how people would feel about her, and she's torn between taking the money because it's her fate is still up in the air. I think everyone has shown Tolu that they're not gonna vote for her. The only person that voted for her last time was Lindsay, but she doesn't know that. She doesn't know that, and I feel like how does she not trust these guys at this point? I mean, they look at her dead in her face and haven't voted every single time, and she saw their voting history too. So what is about this that she's so adamant about trusting these dudes when at every turn no one's voted for her? I don't think anyone's voted for Tolu at all except Lindsay. She's literally the only one, and she's gone. No one else has voted for her. So I don't see why she's so angst and adamant against these dudes. Maybe Julia, I understand, but the dudes like you saw their voting history. They never voted for you. So what's going on? I don't get it. I don't know. Like I said, maybe some we didn't see on camera, but or off camera, but I don't know. And soon Jake is in there. They say he doesn't want to be the one to take the money out of the trust. Julie is torn between the decisions because she doesn't want to be selfish, but what's the harm in taking a little bit of money? Girl, you already took some money. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Julie took it. And both of so we find out that Brian and Gasper do not place a bid, and Jake does not place a bid as well. And it's time for Julie to decide. And she shockingly does not take a bid. And she like the big character arc change. I mean, look, first, second, third episode, Julie take it every single time. This one, she's not. And soon it's Tolu's turn, and she says, I gotta take this money for my family. I get it. I understand. Not mad at it. The show makes it look like she's the bad guy in the situation. I don't see it as that, her being the bad guy. But I think since they're open, it's called the trust. It's not, it's called the trust because it's like literally trusting, not just the money trust, like a trust fund per se. I think if whatever you do and you tell people what's up, this group of people specifically, they'll understand. This group of people seems like, okay, you did what you did. You told us we're cool. Julie just told John they seem cool with her. Other people's admitted everything and they seem to get over it as long as you tell the truth. That's kind of seems like the moral background of this group as a whole for the most part. And that's what they care about is the truth, not really what you did. Like I said, I don't blame her. Sure, the show makes it look like criminal and whatnot, but I probably would have took the same offer, and then I would have told the girl, like, look, I had to. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, you don't have to tell nobody neither, but you can't blame them also for voting you out if that's the case and they suspect you. Because, the guy's going to talk. The guys haven't really lied to each other at all. Julie's the only other one that's like a little bit of wild card, but I don't see her lying to Jake at this point. He's kind of turned her over. And so things have changed with that. So she takes the money, but she says because she's her family's last hope and they're relying on her, but she doesn't know how she's going to explain this to the group. This is another thing. Like this whole family's last hope and I'm the one who has to do this. I hear this a lot on TV essentially. And it's like, what is really going on? Like, how is everyone in your family It's a lot from athletes too. It's an athlete mindset where it's like, oh, my family's trusting me, my family's dependent on me. If I don't do it, my family, nothing, nobody's gonna get anything. That's a lot of pressure for people. I think it's a little bit over exaggerated. I know plenty of people, some people in NFL, NBA, MLB, that just because I think that's a saying to kind of get you through a hard situation rather than it literally being like, if it's not me, then we're gonna, our family's just gonna never get out. I don't believe that statement in today's world. It's just kind of a saying to where I'm the fruitful one, I guess, and I have the power to get our family out of a situation, which I think everyone in the family has the power to do it. I'm not a big fan of just throwing that on yourself to make you seem like the hero when that's kind of far fetched. Um, that's just me. I've heard the story a lot. Trust. Some people are in that situation, like certain athletes in certain situations. But even then, saying I'm the family's last hope, like if it ain't me, it's not gonna happen. I think you're stroking your ego just a little bit there, but hey, that's just me. She says Tolu says she promised. She said she made no promise to the group, and she will. She made no promise to the group, and anything that can help her family will trump anything that the group wants, and she doesn't feel bad at all. I don't like I said, I don't blame her for not feeling bad. She did what she had to do. It's a game of getting some money. So like I said, this decision actually I don't even feel bad about because it has to deal with the game and the money, not isolating people and voting them out based off other things per se and speculation and gaslighting. Um, she doesn't want to take the risk of telling the group the truth. Understandable. There's no risk. You're done with this final test. This is the last one, and then you're just doing the vote out. Just say no, I didn't do it. You guys are gonna accuse me of doing it. That's gonna make you look bad. She knows what time it is with these people. And so $243,000 remains. Julie soon tells Jake that she was thinking about him when she was in there. Like I said, he he had an effect on her. I mean, I know they're around each other 24/7 and whatnot, but him having this positive effect on her in regards to like the money situation and the moral and value situation is really strengthening her. And that just goes to show you the people around you are going to have the most impact on you as a person, inside and out. If you're around people who go to the gym and work out, you're going to probably start going to the gym working out. If you're around people who like to explore and travel and venture, you're probably going to start doing those things. If you're around people who are motivating and doing new things and not just chilling all day, you're going to probably doing those things as well if you have some kind of driving force to make to in the inside. It's on you at the end of the day, but you're more prone to do these things. And so it's really showing like his values per se is and what he believes about the money situation is rubbing off on her. Because he's like, look, we can share this. This isn't it's at the end of the day, you will make between 50 grand, around like 45 grand and 75 grand between those two numbers. Big differences, sure, 25 grand difference, but it's not life changing money. It's not. Anyone who tells you is, unless you're taking the money in a different currency, it's not life changing. Money's just going to make you more of who you already are. If you spend a lot of money already and you don't have much, you're going to spend all that money. If you're good at saving and investing, you're going to invest a lot of it. It's just going to add on what you already got. It'll help your situation to make this a little easier, but it's not going to be like, unless it's like $1 million, not a major, no major change. You can't buy a house with the money that you got. You can put a down payment on one, but you still got to pay all that off. You can get a car maybe too, but then again, you're back at square one. You spent all your money in a car or a house, and then you got same other problems that you still had. Maybe more expenses, more money, more problems, like Biggie said. But yes, um, so we find out that Tolu is acting fake excited with everyone when she's putting on a good show. When everyone comes out the vault, it was like, "Oh, I didn't do it. Did you? No, I didn't do it. Did you? No, I didn't do it. Did you?" It's pretty convincing. I was like, "All right, we on the George Clooney side of the game now." And Meryl Streep. And Brian is fully trusting Tolu at this point, but is a little skeptical of Julie. Gasper is a little skeptical of both the girls, but he wants to believe nobody took the money. Understandable, but Gasper, you know what time it is, man. You voted Lindsay. Not even because she was being selfish, because you just didn't felt some type of way, which we'll figure out soon, y'all. Don't worry. I got y'all on that one. Tolu wishes she came in with more of Brian's mindset. He's very uplifting, very team oriented, very positive, and very vulnerable about the situation that's going on. And like I said, Brian's a kind of a good aspiration to, a moral aspiration to kind of have. I mean, me, look, I'm trying to be more like Brian in those regards, or give back to the do it for the people in the group rather than myself. We all as humans have a big tendency to be selfish and want, let me get mine first and then we'll give the rest out later. We all could take a lesson from Brian on this. I think Brian definitely needs to teach a course on generosity, compassion, uh, giving more than taking. And I would listen to it. So, Brian, if you're out there and listening to this, start a podcast on that kind of thing, because definitely the people need to hear it, and run for president too, because we need somebody like you in the office, cattle guy. Brian and Tolu seem to have a good relationship, and they have a moment on the cliff. They're talking. They say they trust each other. They're happy. Everyone's at this point. They're doing their little final moments together. It's funny because Gasper's the only one who kind of has it alone. It's like Brian and Tolu, Jake and Julie have one together, and Gasper's just like chilling. But yes, Jake and Julie have a moment on the cliff, and he says it's been life changing having this experience. And Jake says he likes his time with Julie, and hopefully outside the show they can continue what they got going on and moving forward. So we'll see. Are Jake and Julie gonna stay together? I don't know. I don't know. This ain't The Bachelor, so I mean, look, I don't get too much in these kind of relationship things, but she lives in Montana. He lives in Florida. Somebody gonna have to move. I mean, that's first things first. On the show, you're with each other 24/7. Outside the show, you're not with each other, so that presents its own set of problems. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Coach. We'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. I got y'all on that one too. Don't worry. Um, and yes, Jake and Julie say they care about each other so much, and they start cupcaking, and the cliff, it gets real romantic, James Bond settings, and it seems like they'll have a future based off this edit. And they share a very passionate kiss, multiple kisses on the cliff. And then they said, all right, we're going to stop and keep it PG, or at least T for y'all, because, it was getting hot and spicy on this last sunset at the Trust Island. And yeah, it was nice to see. I figured that was gonna happen. They might have been real climactical and kind of, last end of the game, end of the video game settings going on. But soon it's time for the last trust ceremony. But this trust ceremony is different. And Brooke explains each person gets an envelope with their cards. Each person gets an envelope inside their cards with everyone's name except your own, and one card that reads share. So you get a little envelope, everyone has the things in there, and share. And they're going to decide that they're going to put their vote in the envelope, seal it, and they're all bring their envelopes to the cliff's edge once they're done with that. Now, when they did this, it looked like they still had all the things in the envelope. So I don't know. But anyways, this last little test or voting thing, they should have revealed everything, or have had some way to reveal everything and say, we'll add extra money to the trust if everyone tells what happened in the last trust ceremony and everyone tells you what they did in the vault. Then we'll add $50,000. That would have raised the stakes. And then you vote. But they just said vote and we're not going to reveal nothing. No stakes, really. I mean, there's stakes. You can't get voted out, but they probably already talked earlier. They look, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Everyone's good. And you got to put on for the camera a little bit where it's going to be suspense, or else the show really going to be lousy ending. But there was just something missing. I feel like there was a big thing missing at this last episode. They should have added something. They should have added a stake, adding money into the pot, because they added dirt 30 grand last episode, 60 grand total. So why not double that? Add 100 grand. Then it really You can really boil things down and people will expose, and then we can get a better product at the end. But that ball was dropped from my point of view. Maybe next season. But yes, Brian says it's been an honor, a privilege to meet and play with every single one of the people here, and he thanks everyone for accepting him. He's giving this hoorah speech. I love y'all, yada yada yada. And everything seems to be going good at the round table, and everyone's getting along. But Tolu says she wishes she could share the money with everyone, but this is not the real world, and that's not how things work. Uh oh. That seems like what's going on now. So Tolu's like, look, I know y'all on the Kumbaya sayings, but I'm not playing Hakuna Matata with y'all. This is my game. And I'm gonna do what's best for me. Me. She like Mr. Krabs. Money, 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 money. That's all she's on right now. And yeah, she's not with the hoorah speech. But yeah, it's the round table's a round table. They're saying all the good things to each other, but the things they're saying in the confessionals kind of contradict a little bit with how things going. But understandable. Tolu, she's doing her own thing still. And Tolu said she had to do what she had to do, and she has, you know, she has to just deal with that. And she seems cool with that. She's smiling, laughing, like, look, it is what it is. The game's over. I got my money. If somebody votes me out, I'm voting them out settings. So it looks like she's up to something, coach. It looks like she's up to something. Julie is being very skeptical of Tolu. She's sussing her out, and she's worried. Like, look, Tolu don't like me. Her and Tolu are going back at each other in their confessionals in this, and that's where like I think we're lost in translation a little bit to where we're missing the piece. Like, did something happen earlier that day? Did they get in an argument? What's going on? Because it seems like they're not on the same page, but they're just faking it, being on the same page in front of the guys. So I don't know, but um, she said Tolu is going to hold grudges against her when she voted out Winnie. I don't think she is. She didn't vote you out last trust ceremony because Lindsay got voted out. So I don't know why she's saying that. It's a little head scratching because Winnie got voted out a little while ago. Like I said, I'm missing something, y'all. I don't know if they edited it wrong way or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of seemed kind of weird to me. But soon the trust value is now $243,000 because Tolu took the 25K. And they tell everyone this. And so when Brooke announces that's the total trust value, everyone's shook. Everyone's looking around like, huh? Everyone's like, oh, nah, hell nah, boy. Y'all done up and done it. And people are tight right now. They real tight. And Jake is confused because the money has went down. Jasper is shocked as well. And he's pissed off. Brian's pissed off. Everyone's mad as hell. And Tolu's trying her best to keep a straight face because her happiness outweighs the guilt. And she we needed a full zoom. We needed like a raw cut of that whole little segment because I wanted to see people's heads like turn around and whatnot, but everyone's just facing Julie and thinking and giving their little inner monologues about what they thought. And they edited their speeches as well. And this should have been a point where you could also say if whoever admits that they did it, we can add money to the pot. And even if they already placed their votes at this point, like nothing can change, but it's like it just add a little spiciness because everything's done. You can't change it at this point. So just give us something as a viewer. But alas, Brian is first to go and show his note. And he admits that it's been tough turning down $40,000 in the vault. Sheesh. And he's definitely upset with the person who took the money and doesn't understand why somebody took the money. Brian, you hadn't have a kid. You should understand why somebody took that money. Come on now. What do you mean you don't understand? You definitely understand, coach. But you just don't agree with the decision, I think. I think his words got a little tied. But yeah, it's he's definitely he's definitely maybe projecting a little bit here where I don't think that, you know, his words came out right when he said he doesn't understand because I know he understands, but hey, it is what it is on those settings. And soon Gasper chooses, or Frank, Gasper, Brian chooses to do the right thing and share it with everyone. And Gasper's next, and he said, you know, his experience was great until now, and he feels betrayed. Eh, Gasper, you betrayed Lindsay though, coach. What you mean? I mean, look, we call a spade, Gasper. Come on, coach. You got her out. So I mean, it was good because you safe and you got her out. But I mean, we'll see what's going on with that too. Um, but then yeah, Gasper chooses to share the money as well. Next is, but he's a little confused because someone took the money, and Jake is next, and he's like, I'm of course choosing to split the money. No shocker there, and you know we move on, and Julie is next, and she's devastated because she shared with everyone that came here in such a survival. She's devastated because she shared with everyone that she came in here with such a survival mode mentality, and that's how she's lived her whole life. Like, I've been having to fight, come up from the mud, work in the field, work crazy jobs, been in labor since I was 12 years old, that type settings and whatnot. Didn't have nowhere to sleep. Um, so yeah, she definitely feeling some type of way, but she knows you can see the growth and the change in her. And she doesn't feel super safe right now with Tolu still there because she knows Brian Gasper, and well, she feels like they won't because she did tell them her secret, so she's a little on edge. But these guys aren't the guys to hold that against her, as you can see. I mean, they didn't even vote Bryce out, and he was the millionaire. You think they're gonna vote you out? Like, I don't think that's happening. So, but she says this, and she votes not to. She votes to share the money, and I'm like, wow, I really thought she was gonna vote. Because the way they have them positioned, it's like least likely to vote on top and most likely to vote at the bottom. So that was a funny way they had them set up. So it definitely looked like they were setting up the last couple people to expose themselves. But she didn't. And I give her kudos and claps for that, girl. You did that. Tola was next. And her eyes seemed very red in this. It looked like she was maybe, I don't know, she was crying or something, or, had some of that Dominicana. But yeah, she says that she doesn't put anything past anyone, that she's not surprised that the money in the vault went down. So she's capping hardcore, but she has to do that to save. She's about to take all this money and rock her way up out of here with even more dough, kick somebody out in definitely devastating fashion. But to our surprise, she chooses to share the money, coach, and everyone is like, whew, they was holding their breath in. They're like, breathe, breathe. But yes, she decided to share the money, and everyone's happy. Gasper asked her also at the end when they're celebrating if she took money from the vault, and she said no. So, Tolu never had to admit that she took the money, and that's kind of how the show ends. Kind of anticlimactic, like I said. Nothing happens except Tolu taking the money this whole episode. Yeah, yeah, they just should have added some stakes to it. That's the end, and then that's how the trust ends. A good show, but I think the ending, if like the last episode, definitely left more to be desired. Just should have been more stakes. Add money, expose people, and making them tell the secrets. That's what really brings the good stuff out. And without that, I just feel like we're left just like, okay, that's it. It's like it's just like when the movie ends abruptly, like, oh, the movie's over. That's it. That's how I felt watching the last episode. Everyone got about 48K, I believe, roughly. And it's a good amount of money. So, you left with something, had a little vacation. It's nice. But I know deep down they're all like, dang, somebody took the money from us at the end and we're left with the scraps. Kind of sucks. But this isn't a game about morality. It's a game about trusting. It's not called the moral code. It's called the trust. And yeah, but yeah, that ends the trust, y'all. Thank you for joining me with that. It was a long journey. Spent about 3 weeks on the show, and then we got talking to some of the cast members soon. So we're gonna wrap up with that. It's in next week, and we will move on from that. Like I said, I like the show. The ending left more to be desired. And since we're ending this, I'll just give y'all a few sneak peeks of what's coming up. Yes, we have The Traitors still going on. Amazing show. And we have talking to some of the cast members, like I said, and we going to do the American Nightmare, which we're working on, making it through that. And it's a crazy story, coach. crazy story. I didn't want see Gone the movie Gone Girl, and this is definitely giving me Gone Girl settings. So I'm getting pretty much a 2-for-1 deal going on with this show right now. So check it out. If you guys have anything else that I should check out, review, anything, let me know. Yeah, I've been doing a couple NFL games lately. The vlogs, check the vlogs out, and yeah, that's it for the we. And also, since y'all made it, we on the last episode of the Trust, I'm gonna give back to y'all a little bit. We have some BT. We're gonna have go to the Traders premiere party tomorrow, and so hopefully I'm gonna get some things from there and some special guests on the Patreon. And we will be at this other Squid Game thing next Friday at this bar. See some of the peoples from there. Some of the peoples from there that I might not want to see, but let alone we'll see some people from there. And the following day weekend as well, we'll see some more Squid Game people because I will be at player 286 Chad's birthday, and the winner Mai will be there, so we'll get to talk to them as well a little bit. But yeah, we got some things coming up, y'all. And then we got some Super Bowl stuff, and some. If you like golf, we got some. With waste management tournament stuff. So we got a lot of things coming up, y'all. A lot of things. The next few weeks are gonna be hectic. It's gonna be crazy. And just hang in there, y'all. Because the end of February, I'm gonna be gassed. I might have to take a week off at the end of February and just ride it out. But y'all, appreciate y'all coming with me through the trust. It's been a great, fun time with y'all. The doing the reviews, definitely a new show. Adding to my arsenal real quick. Doing this show and learning some new things. And we're out of here. Peace and blessings. And I hope you have a good rest of